What's up, y'all? Johnny Porter here. Got my blue light blocking glasses on today, and I am going to be redoing my footage commentary for Taylor Jones versus Greg Fisher. I like to do my first watch through of a fight that I haven't seen, so you get this live feel of me reacting and kind of digesting it in real time with you. So far, that's what we've been doing, but because I accidentally corrupted the audio for this one the first time, I'm going to have to redo this one. And I'm not going to pretend I haven't seen it. I thought about doing that, like Boss Rutan and Stephen Quattro for Pride re-recordings, where they're like, oh my gosh, it looks like he's about to tap him out with an arm bar. And then it happens and you're just like, awesome analysis. Best in the game. So I'm not going to do that. I'm watching the broadcast edit, and I'm going to start it right now. And we're going to go from the beginning. Since it's a broadcast edit, we're just going to watch the walkouts. They speed through them a little bit. I don't even know what songs they had, but here we go. Poeton style. Taylor Jones. Current reigning light heavyweight IMCF Outrance Pro Fight champion. A stud, big dude, muscular, cuts down to 205 to light heavyweight from allegedly a pretty heavy, 220, 230, maybe even heavier than that, I've been told, but I'm not 100% sure. You can see he's got a pretty optimized dueling kit. Here we go. 5'10 to 6 foot, Fort Collins versus Houston, Texas, both 205, both the same age, 7-6 years. Yeah, look, apart from the height, as Mike Goldberg would have said, all of their stats are virtually identical. Greg coming out. He's clearly feeling good. Putting on a little bit of a performance there. Nux to the crowd. You got to get the crowd involved. Getting the crowd involved. Get them on your side, You want them cheering for you when you're fighting. Goes out, gives an aggressive fist bump to Taylor. That's not just a nice fist bump. That was a boom. I'm punching your hand. I like the way Taylor does. I don't know if he does it consciously or not, but I like the way he just waits in the middle of the ring. I like to do that sort of thing too. Like, I'm here. I'm owning this space before we even start. I'm standing in the middle of the ring. Both these guys, you can look at kind of their arm pieces and judge their kits that they've got on under the tabards based on that. I'm not sure if they have all-purpose brigs on, but I would imagine they both have relatively light titanium sets. They got the titanium shoulders. They got the titanium jack chains, both of them. Look, Taylor's just got the floating elbow under his punch shield. Both got the cloth plates. Greg looks like he's even wearing a dueling-specific helmet. I don't know if he has a different helmet that he'll wear for melees. But I wouldn't be surprised if that helmet in particular is extremely light. Maybe lighter than you would want for melees even. Both got pretty similar setup on the legs. Looks like they're both titanium. I have the same titanium dueling gauntlet that Greg's rocking. It's pretty nice. I don't know if his is titanium. It looks like it. Mine is. There you go. Another aggressive fist bump. Just reading the energies there, you can tell like Taylor's a little bit chill right now, a little bit relaxed. Greg feeling a little bit amped up. I mean, you could tell just by the way he did his walkout, by the way he's pumping those fist bumps. It's a little thing, but you read into all this as a fighter. Little thing, but you read into it. If I was his opponent, I would read that. I would read that energy. Here we go, round one. Touch tips. And immediately Greg starts to get to work on the dueling. Nice low kick there. Another good one from Taylor. Low kicks aren't worth as much points. They're worth just one, I believe. Yeah, just 1 point from a low kick to the leg. So he is scoring. Good sword combo from Greg. Nice low cuts. Good shield punch there. Finally worked it in. Taylor's big weapon is his shield punch. All of these low kicks, in my mind, are his answer to the sword work that Greg is putting out there. Greg's landing these light popping shots to the body and to the hip. Taylor kind of counters with a low kick to the legs. There you go, another shield punch to the chest. I like to see that more often. I'd like to see a good one over the top there and then right down the middle. This is a problem that we see a lot with Greg throwing shots down the middle so much with his sword. Your sword hand and sword arm gets bound up. If you're trying to constantly pick shots down the middle line, eventually shield punches, straight punches are going to just piece you up. We talk about this a lot. If you're in range for a shield punch, throwing the snap or throwing a sword blow is going to just get you punished. They trade long range shots, good kick to the body. Good combo there from Taylor. Left, right, left. Sloppy kind of punch at the end, and then a sword shot by Greg on the way out. Nice punch by Greg. They're finally getting his own shield punch in. Blocks Taylor's that time. Taylor's better off right there. That's first combo. First punch of that combo was good. You want a fluid punch. The more Taylor loads up, the less likely he is to land these. Look at the two of them just back and forth, back and forth. No sideways or lateral circling footwork whatsoever. I want to see from both these guys more side to side. Greg walks into a heavy punch right there because he's just going straight back and straight in. Straight back and straight in. Nice right hand from Greg. Good low kick again from Taylor. Good sword shot from Greg. That's been the trade this whole first round. Really close first round. I wasn't counting blow for blow. I was just watching number of combinations. And I have to correct myself from previous videos. There is no significant blow point scoring. There's no additional weight given to the gravity of these punches that Taylor's landing. So we have to just strictly in AMMA look at the number of blows landed. Based on that, based on just straight numbers, I think Greg could feel confident walking away with it. He landed far more sword blows to the body and head, but he ate a couple devastating punches for them. Like I was saying before in the beginning, or towards the end of the round, sorry, I want to see these two guys circle more because they're basically going like this. Attack, 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 attack. Attack, 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 attack. It's like one person going attack, attack, attack. Oh, I missed. This guy gets to offset the rhythm, right? You don't want to stand, like imagine two ships, you know, they have their sides with all the cannons facing one another. You don't want to stand in front of the other guy's cannons, okay? His arsenal's pointed at you when you're in front of him. You want to get here, okay? You want to get to the side. You want to get to the point where you can broadside him and he can't hit you at all, right? That's the goal. So let's see if either of these fighters separates themselves round two. Let's go just gut instinct. We'll say round one went to Greg off of volume. Really close though, really close. Body shots with the sword are worth more than leg kicks. All right, round two, here we go. No sword touch this time. Too tense now. Blocked sword shot, miss leg kick. Finally lands a shot to the hip. Taylor loads up on that punch. Greg got a little bit more lateral there and then walked right into a punch kick combination. Good kick and sword shot from Greg. I like to see that. Nice punch over the top from Taylor. Straight kicks and then two hip shots with the sword. The straight kick is good, but I want to see him follow it with a hand or with a sword shot. Low kick misses. Sword punch combo lands and then a punch to the arms blocked. I believe punches to the arms are worth nothing. Good little lateral step there from Taylor. See, when Greg charges in, if Taylor circles out every single time, he's going to have much more opportunities to land that punch, right? He should be working to step out instead of trying to reach like that and pick and then back away. He needs to circle more and more. And I don't understand why. Maybe it's because he doesn't feel like he can. I don't understand why Taylor doesn't try and circle to his right more to set up the shield punch, right? He's going in and then back into his left, which sometimes Greg follows him and walks right into a heavy shot. But see these like long range combinations where they're just trading. Good right hand finally from Taylor. Low shots blocked by him. Sword shot got through, punch blocked, low kick. Light punches got through from both people. Sword blow, sword blow. Greg eats a hard punch and then his own is blocked. Good body shot from Greg. I want to see that more often. More hunt in the body. Good sword work there. Shot to the body and then a punch over the top. Good low leg shot with the sword. And then the last few blocked by Taylor. That was another close round, you know. When we go back through, we'll analyze it, you know. But just based on the first watch, round 1 was really close. Round 2 was, again, a tight round. I'm watching the replays, these highlights. Yeah, you look at most of these highlights, it's a lot of volume work by Greg and then a couple stiff punches by Taylor here and there. That's hard to say, right? You know, I might want to give a call on this that round 2 was really close. Round 1 was really close. Either of these fighters could feel confident that they have those rounds. I'm torn here on the fact that hard shots are not worth extra points because, again, I think Greg outlanded in that round. So we might have to go back and look at it. But I think Greg landed more shots. Now, maybe they weren't all good. So, and they weren't necessarily all to the body and head, although a lot of them were. You could say it was first round Taylor, second round Greg. You could maybe say it's 2 rounds to Greg right now. Very close rounds. Sword touch at the third. Missed both those. Finally lands a kick. Drops the sword low, misses. Taylor misses. Taylor feels the need to go in for a grapple. I would highly advise both of these guys working their wrestling. Nice tight uppercuts, not super solid, but he lands a few. Taylor's trying to work his leg in front, trying to block Greg's hip so they can maybe get a throw along the cage. Couldn't get it, so he backs out, gives up the underhook, goes for a punch combination. Greg circles out. Armor failure. While they're fixing the armor, let's just talk about, I want to see if either of them really test the grappling of the other in the middle of this third round or in this third round. Because, again, super tight fight. Who's going to bring out a new element to their game? Who's going to bring out a new weapon in the arsenal and show that they aren't just relying on the things you've seen already, okay? The fight is not just your techniques, your arsenal. It's a living thing, right? So the first 2 rounds have established this third round, and the third round right here is your chance to change the meta. 1 sword shot got through in that combo from Greg. Again, Taylor goes in for the clinch, gets a heavy overhook. Greg ducks right down into that front headlock, and then he should be battling that hand. Taylor's trying to just drag him out. He's just trying to snap him straight forward and down. Greg right back up. Taylor should have dropped and put his weight on him to body surf. Instead, he's trying to chase with the punches now. Back into a clinch. Most of those punches didn't land. Greg, no, I wouldn't try and hammer fist out of the clinch. I would try and push him and circle away back into the open space. Good front kick sword combo from Greg. Taylor's looking a little tired. You can see he's starting to load up heavily, trying to get into these clinch positions. Good punch, good sword shot, and then another punch from Greg. Good sword blow and punch, and then another punch from Taylor. Not a super devastating one, more of like a push. And then back into that overhook. These leg shots from Greg, I don't know how I would score them. They're very light. And then once again, Greg ducks himself right back into that front headlock position. He's trying to grab the leg for a single leg, tries to kick it out, can't quite get it. Taylor's trying to just use his weight and use his body to sag Greg down. Greg right there has a chance where he could step by and counter this throw. Doesn't quite get it. Gets kneed, punch, rocked heavily with the left hand over the top. Greg has to remember, keep those hands up, exiting the clinch, and another one to finish the fight. Finally, a decisive round. Okay, you know, that was clearly third round Taylor. Great work finally bringing in the wrestling. Here they've got the highlights playing. We see a couple of striking combinations from Greg early on before his armor failure. who knows, maybe that armor failure was just the break that Taylor needed to get his grappling skills back, like his energy up. But I would say Greg kept putting himself down into that front headlock, you know. He's coming in, ducking hard forward, and as his helmet and head fall into the lock, Taylor just sinks his weight over the top and starts to drag him out. There's really not much that he could do, or that's not much that Greg could do once he had put himself fully into that position, and he didn't clearly, or he didn't know how to wrestle out of it. You'd see at times he was kind of scrambling for a leg, didn't commit, was kind of hesitant on his counters, right? Especially round 3, man. If you're trapped in a negative position, you have to do everything you can to get out. He's lucky that Taylor was not a proficient body surfer or grappler when he landed the first takedown. All right, that's the fight. Okay, you know, let's go back through. Let's go to round 1. Instead of going backwards, let's go to round 1. Because round 3 is kind of the easiest to call. And I believe all of these rounds are scored individually. So it's not cumulative. It's not like you get points in round 1 and 2 and 3, and it's the total. It's you get your points for round 1, and then you win round 1. You get your points for round 2, and you win round 2. So I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to watch and kind of analyze a little bit closer just the strikes. And then we'll talk about it. I don't think we'll have to do like full count for every single one, but let's just do a basic block. So it's 1 point, 1 point, 1 point to the legs. Sword shot. It's hard to say if those land to the head. They cut the angle on the camera really quickly. That also might have been to the body right there, and then a leg kick, and then a shield punch, and then another shield punch there. These sword shots from Greg are landing, you know, he's slapping a bunch of sword shots in. And then a lot that aren't landing, and then these shield punches from Taylor are slamming in. Big shield punch to the head again, and another one for good measure. That's like we talked about Greg's sword getting bound up. A lot of fighters do this. People whose sword get bound up in between them, especially if you're within punching range, then you should expect to eat a shot or two. You got to get your hand clear, get your blade out, get your sword clear. Kick to the body. You know, this is why watching fights is hard to analyze, you know what I mean? Especially because this is a point scoring system. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm just going to be real. I'm not a huge fan of every blow being worth a certain amount of points, because it just detracts from the fight, in my opinion. Sitting here having to do this kind of math basically to determine damage is hard to assess, effective offense is hard to assess, and close rounds are hard to assess no matter what sport you're doing. The more I watch this first round, though, was a good combination to finish at the end where Greg lands a great right hand. The more I watch it, the more I think that this round actually was only seeming to be Greg's because of the end. I think Taylor actually won the first round. And, you know, with that said, I'll go through the second round, but you almost don't even need to go through the second round as much because we know Taylor won round 3. That first round, very close. It was kind of like the trades of the leg kicks to the low sword shots from Greg, and then Greg trying to land the sword blows up top to make up for then, you know, the difference there, and Taylor landing a bunch of straight shield punches and straight punches that kind of, in my mind, countered that. Round 2, Greg finally comes out, a little bit of lateral movement, and he's not really shifting back and forth. It's more of just he occasionally will step to the left or right, and then he kind of plants his feet and throws another combination. I want to see him attack and move, right? Especially against someone like Taylor, who's a huge, heavy-handed puncher, right? You don't want to sit there and eat super heavy shots, even onto your arms. See, Taylor pulls a lateral move almost on accident. Combo, punch, combo. Low shots are only worth 1 point with the sword in this. Another low shot from Greg when Taylor's kind of trying to catch his breath on the outside. And once again, this is where I would have loved to see Taylor taking more circling steps to the right. Okay, he's constantly throwing out low kicks to the body, low kicks to the leg. Like, why not step off as you're doing that? He's throwing him with his left leg even. So just keep stepping off to the right. You're clearly not super worried about Greg's jab hand or his buckler. Greg's doing a lot of walking forward in this, but not a lot of landing effective strikes. Not until towards the end. I think here he gets a pretty good combo, gets blasted once, and lands a nice shot to the body. That's what I wish I'd seen more of. If you have a buckler like this, especially, you're coming in tight, use it, man. You got to hit those angles for the hooks, for the uppercuts, for the tight shovel hooks, right? And then they're both tired. Just flail the sword out there at the end, see what you can hit. Man, watching it again, round 2 might also be Taylor's, watching it one more time. And then round 3, we'll go through it again. We know this was one of the more decisive rounds, despite Greg having really nice work in the beginning. Taylor was just able to punch in and clinch up and dominate those exchanges. Here before Greg's elbow pops, Taylor has a really nice chance where he could have gone for a throw forward. He could have stepped Uchimata Greg's leg against the cage and dropped Greg hard and wedged him between the floor and the cage in that little corner here. If you get somebody wedged in there, it's extremely difficult for them to get out. So I would have liked to see Taylor try and do that a little bit more than just clinch up and try to drag Greg down to the ground. Also, shout out our boy Spencer. What's up, Samurai? Out there fixing the armor for the homie. Greg's a nice fighter. Really good guy from Colorado. Had a couple of chances to hang out, talk with him, look forward to training with him. In my mind, he lost this fight based on his footwork. He took super suboptimal pathing, which led him right into a bunch of hard shield punches. His sword work overall should have won him this fight if he was able to not just walk into things like this head control clinch in the 3rd round, that front headlock where Taylor is able to slam him down. And Taylor sprawled right then, boom, lands on the back, flattens him out, rotates, turns so that he's shoving you into the corner, boom, starts landing ground and pound and knees. God, it sucks. You're going to get so burnt out. And then here in this really sloppy clinch situation from Taylor, essentially lets Greg out for free. If you've got somebody's head bent over and you're winning a clinch, there's no reason to just give it up. Make your opponent work. Again, Greg's standing and walking straight back, eating these shield punches super hard to the face because he is not moving laterally. He's not feinting. He's not giving Taylor something that he has to worry about when he comes in. Once again, walks himself into the front headlock, doesn't have the knowledge or the wherewithal to drop down. Greg can't get that low ankle single. Oh, there's a beautiful, perfect chance right here in round 3 for him to have just dropped down and reversed the position, maybe even steal the round if you reverse the position and land that TKO with just 15 seconds left. But nope, eats some heavy shots on the way out. Both fighters tired, both fighters exhausted, almost guaranteed they were swinging with whatever they had left there. So yeah, second watch, again, this is why being a judge is hard. Second watch, I think it was actually even more dominant for Taylor than initially believed. Again, we could go through and count every single strike that lands and look at the math of it. And I'd be curious if I did that, what the judges' scores would reflect if this was 1 round Greg, 2 rounds Taylor. But either way, whether you give Greg the first round or not, whether you give Greg the second round, which I don't think he deserves a second round argument for the first, but not the second, Taylor stomped it in the third, right? So it may have come down to just who kind of got that third round, and Taylor clutched it out. So good fight. Really excited to see Taylor coming back soon. And so make sure you catch his fight over on AMMA's broadcast. He's fighting November 16th against a fighter that we're going to review one of our next videos, Andrzej Studenski or Studenski. I hope I'll figure it out on the video. Thanks for watching, y'all. I hope this is helpful. And I hope that I get the chance to work and train with both of these guys in the future. So much love.